trailers like in the 80s or whatever, they're so bad.
Yeah, they're horrible.
And they tell the entire movie.
Yeah, like
because
point
they have
for
to
point.
they have to tell you like everything to get you interested.
And then Marty and Doc go back to the future. Don't worry, they do make it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that worked out for them.
All right, welcome to This Week in Nerd History. Is a podcast where we talk about all the fun, dumb, nerdy stuff from the past, present, and future. I'm Mike. Joining me, as always, we've got AJ and Sal. How you guys doing?
Hey.
Excelsior.
I was admiring AJ's shirt there.
Derby.
Oh my
God.
God.
It's the moment where he's knocking over. Can you see this? Wait. He's knocking over the pot.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Is that officially
It's an official Netflix, what do you call it, merch. That,
wow.
This we got shirts for the sing-along that we went to. So this was mine.
Cool.
Did we talk about that?
I mean,
Yeah, did we talk about the
you going to
experience
it?
of you guys doing the
no, we
sing-along?
didn't talk about I mean, if you want to know about the experience, it was insane. It was like me and Dan and our kids, and then like a whole theater full of kids. It was, granted, it was
No
a
other
small
parents?
theater. There were some other parents there, but like not a lot. There were not a lot of adults. There was like the whole front row was just all girls, and when every time a song was happening, which is almost always throughout the movie, they would get up and dance and sing. And this happened multiple times where they got up, like when they do soda pop, there were kids in the aisles doing the soda pop dance. They all they knew the dances, they knew the words. I swear, I heard like a 5-year-old behind me singing in Korean. And I was like, what? How is this happening?
What?
It was really fun.
Kids turning into like the anime faces and everything.
Yeah.
That
The
sucks
popcorn
because,
eyes.
you know, in today's world, like we're so multicultural, there's an opportunity for like kids to literally learn another language. The only other culture that Mike and I were exposed to back in the day was Australia.
a lot of Australia.
So the best thing we could hope for is just going like full
Is this like a specific
Between Crocodile Dundee, Yahoo Serious, there's just this, and then like even just Outback Steakhouse was like kind
Outback
of
Steakhouse,
on the tail end
Foster's
of that.
beer. Like America was like had Aussie fever for like a good small window of time, and that was like our cultural, exchange.
I remember, I think this was like after prom or something. I never have felt fancier than drinking a Foster's for the first time. I was like, yeah, this is high class living. It comes in that big like little
it's
keg.
it's in this little personal keg. Yeah,
yeah. And then like
There
later
it
on,
is.
finding out like Australians don't drink Foster's.
they hate it. Yeah,
They also don't have Outbacks or know what bloomin' onions are.
no.
Right.
I mean,
thought, yeah.
bloomin'
I thought
onions.
bloomin' onions were like from like the Aborigines. Isn't that like an official?
Yeah, because
It's the official food of Australia.
in the outback, like onions, they sprout out from the ground in plentiful bounties, and the Aborigines had to learn how to eat them.
Yeah.
So they
Wake up, pluck a fresh bloomin' onion from a kangaroo's pouch, and then drink a Foster's.
children today are singing in Korean. We're like, "G'day, that's not a knife."
Wheelie bin.
Just infuriating Australians for 30 years.
Yep. And it was just like, it wasn't even like, it was just the dumbest parts of, not even just the dumbest part of any other culture. Just like, here you go, here's Australia for you.
Yeah.
Now you think everything I want to show you is this ridiculous.
That's right. And of course, there's a Simpsons episode to commemorate the reference that we're making. So
Yep.
we'll spare you, but suffice to say, it's hilarious.
So how was the sing-along? Sorry.
It was great.
Yeah, but it was crazy, you said. It's like choked with kids and they're dancing. And
Yeah. Dancing in the aisles. There was like, at the end, when every time Genu came on screen, all the girls like scream and are like swooning. They're like, ah! Which was really fun. And then at the end, when he like gives his soul to Rumi, they all like scream again and just like lost their minds. Even though like they clearly know the movie, but they just it was a lot of fun.
You're a bunch of phonies. You clearly know the material.
I wonder how many more sing-along type things are going to, between like Wicket and this.
Wicket.
Like,
Wicket.
they're both like, big events.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just think of, I don't really know whatever new, pretty much like any new Disney movie or whatever that's going to come out that's got like a musical element to it. I feel like that's just going to be part of the equation for them.
Yeah. Well, the new Wicket will be coming out in a month or two.
I feel like any kind of gimmick thing that helps movie theaters out, just like fill some seats.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Good for K-pop Demon Hunters for making like a song for me. Because I remember when I sat down with my like wife and sister-in-law to watch it, you know, just me in a room full of girls, and I'm like, this is what's happening today. Like 2 minutes in, I'm like, so are these girls from something? Like, is this like, are they already a band and this like a movie is promoting an album of some kind? And they're like, no, it's new. I'm like, it's not like a manga or like a show. And they're like, no, it's whatever you're looking at. That's the thing it is. I'm like, they did all this? Like, they put all this work in and they didn't even know it was going to work. Like, it seems quaint in today's world.
I know.
Where it's like, here's an idea I had. Well, whose idea was it before you had it? Nobody's? Well, what 80s cartoon show is it based off of? None? Well, then I don't know why the hell we're investing money into it. How do you know it's going to work? I guess I don't.
So you're going to get fired then if this doesn't work. Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think we need to get that far just yet. Let's just enjoy it. I mean, we'll see.
I love the, just like on a tangent of that, the show Barry. I don't know if you guys watched Barry on HBO when it was up. I think it was the last season maybe, or second to last, when, I forget everybody's name in it, but like his love interest.
I think I didn't see the last season, so.
Okay. Like his
Spoilers
love interest
for me,
early on,
okay.
She was like an actress and like on and off girlfriend and stuff. So she had a show that got rave like reviews and stuff like on the pilot or on the series itself, and then it was going on to like Netflix, and Netflix canceled it before it even premiered because the algorithm was like it was going to shift to something else. It was like this whole like sort of meta thing about just like how streaming works and how like, you know, it's not an existing thing or whatever, and even though it's like people love it, in like 6 months it's going to dip a little bit because something else might come out. It was like the most frustrating thing, but it seemed high, especially coming from
is it Bill Hader?
Bill Hader, thanks. You know, him just being so involved in it in Hollywood and everything like that, and just knowing all those things, like it felt so accurate and not even that exaggerated, even though it was like it's just ridiculously frustrating.
It's not that exaggerated. There's a show, I'm gonna plug this show real quick. It's called Warrior Nun. And it's about a bunch of nuns that are warriors. But one in particular she's actually not a nun, and she becomes like the warrior nun. I can't even get into it, but it's a show on Netflix. You can watch it. I think it's pretty good. My best friend was obsessed with it, and they had a full season 1, and it was like really well received, and people were super into it. And then season 2 came out, and it was like the most watched thing for like 2 days, and it was canceled immediately. Like
ridiculous.
Canceled immediately. I love the term canceled immediately. Just it's like
they had this whole like overarching plot of like they had like a bunch of like the writer said like they had a bunch of stuff in store that they like were really excited about. Like they wanted to do like at least like 4 or 5 seasons, but second season, as soon as it's released, canceled. Yeah. Even though like before the numbers even came out, and it was just so disappointing.
I know with Netflix has that thing where it's like first 2 seasons, the third season is when you renegotiate and things get much more expensive for Netflix.
Yeah.
So then they'll cancel it unless they know it's going to be like a Stranger Things where it's just going to be for X amount of seasons and it'll be worth it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if there was something where if it was like good for like 3 days in a row on season 2, then that would have kicked in or something, like some weird little extra part in that contract that made it like cut it so early.
That's so funny that you mentioned Warrior Nun, because like I didn't watch it. I think I saw like a picture of it, like a thumbnail while I was scrolling, and I was like, what? And the reason is not what you think. It's because I'm familiar with Ariella Warrior Nun, because she was a comic book character in the 90s. And it's like, so Warrior Nun? No. A brand new original It's based off of a 90s property that happened.
Really?
Had an action figure line and a comic book series. It was like manga inspired. It was like a couple of, not a couple. It was Ben Dunn, this guy who like invented the character. But yeah, based off of like, I guess a nun from like 1066 or something. It was just like, yeah. But I vividly recall seeing ads for and write-ups about Warrior Nun and being like, I don't know what fetish this is trying to satisfy. I mean, I guess I know exactly what it's trying to scratch here, but I'm not going to fall for it. Nice try.
These action figures are no joke.
No, those figures exist. You can buy them now. I know a store within 10 minutes of my house that you can go to right now, and I could produce an Ariella Warrior Nun figure for you guys. I don't have it here in the studio, but if you give me an hour, I could get one.
$10.
$10, not bad.
Wow.
Yeah, that's only one of her outfits. Mostly it's the black and white, but this is the white outfit.
Oh, okay. Oh, here's this one. Oh, wait. Can you see that? No. Doesn't refresh? Never mind. Doesn't exist.
Doesn't refresh.
There's a clip? No clip?
Nope. No clip? Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
But yeah, I love that example. I was like, Warrior Nun? You mean Ariella Warrior Nun? A comic that I know vividly, but also never read in my life.
I know you guys didn't see it. Maybe if we want to watch it, we don't have to. Is the Anaconda trailer.
Is it an underboot? If it's not quite a remake or a reboot. Well, that is way more fun than I anticipated.
Yeah, I had no idea it was a thing at all, like we were saying before, and I was just like, all right, that's different.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Older trailers, like the art form of trailers has been so tightened since, I don't know, the past 25 plus years or whatever, but like trailers like in the 80s or whatever, they're so fucking bad.
Yeah, they're horrible.
And they tell the entire movie.
Yeah, like
because they have to to tell you like everything to get you interested. But that was again, that's when you would just see a trailer in the movies and it would be, a full year before the movie's coming out.
Yeah.
And you have no way to see that trailer again. You're not gonna it now. A trailer comes out and you can stop and you can pause and you can rewatch and every little beat that's in it. So they have to be very careful about what they put in the trailer because you don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah,
we now complain. Like I've heard a lot of complaints. Like they give the whole movie away. I'm like, not like the 70s
like
and
they
80s.
Used to.
Yeah.
Not like in the 80s when they were just like, here is the movie, plot point
when
by
literally
plot point.
like the the narration over.
Yeah, when they're like, and then Marty and Doc go back to the future. Don't worry, they do make it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that worked out for them.
Yeah, I think there was a Mr. Show sketch that did like, and then at the end, when this happens, and they literally take you through the entire thing. I think it was a Mr. Show one.
I saw a great sketch like the other day about like embarrassing YouTube search history. Where they were like, whoa, like. They're all like watching YouTube on the guy's TV and they're like looking at his account. And it's like Toy Story ending explained. And he's like, what did you need explained?
I mean, for Toy Story 4, you do need an explanation because they're going to have a fifth one now.
Yeah, the only thing I needed explained about Toy Story 4 was why did you make this? But like, boom! But yeah, I don't know.
Fired.
Yeah, Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 is like, look into the eyes of the abyss and don't blink if you have friends. Like, if you have friends, you can survive anything. And then Toy Story 4 is like, unless you got chicks. If you getting laid, then F them friends because you are going to settle down, my friend. Get over to Buzz Lightyear. He sucks anyway.
Yep.
Not like you're going to die with him.
Friends.
Leave your friends for Bo Peep because that's the future.
But also freedom.
Right, but also freedom, though. It's the freedom to be married.
Also, it's the, you're not the shiny... Because, in the first three movies, Woody is the toy, and he's not anymore. It's really about, like, what do you do when you're not the thing that's the center of attention? Right. And what do you do when you're, like, it's very
but, like, we answered that question. In 3, that was the best part. Like, and I love how, like, apparently... the original pitch for Toy Story 3, like I remember rumblings about Toy Story 3's plot before they even made Toy Story 3, where they were like, oh, it was like a canceled idea for Toy Story 3, where they were like, at the end, they get given away to like a daycare center, so they're played with every day. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. And then the movie they made, they were like, that's not sweet. That's a nightmare
The daycare
scenario.
center is
That's
the nightmare.
hell.
Yep.
And I was
that's
like,
hell for toys.
fair point. Okay, you got me, movie. How are we going to get out of this one? And they're like, they're going to burn to death.
You're going to get donated to one child who's very calm and kind. And that's it.
One very calm, very tunnel vision child.
Yep.
I'm like, thank you. Okay, good.
But then you're
good.
not the favorite. That's the thing.
That's okay. That's
it is okay, but for some people it's not. Some people they want to be the center of attention. What happens when he's basically in retirement,
Right? Yeah.
I never saw the fourth one. I didn't have
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third one was so freaking intense. Anyway,
I mean, the best part of the fourth one is Bunny and Ducky. They're honestly, like the trailers that show Bunny and Ducky. I was like, well, yes, I'm gonna.
It's Key and Peele.
Is it Key and Peele?
They're
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, no, they're amazing,
and they're attached to each other. And they're so fun.
Right? Yeah. I have a friend who has never seen any of the Toy Stories because she got Brave Little Toastered. She's like, Hollywood tried to convince me to be a hoarder and like keep my garbage, like because I might hurt their feelings. Mm-hmm. So I can't like get attached to these characters. And I was like, whew, good thing you decided to abandon the Toy Story franchise, because if you saw 3,
yep,
you would have freaked out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus.
Oof. I gotta
Brave
say
Little
though,
Toaster,
like as much as like I didn't see Toy Story 1 and 2 until much later than I didn't see them when they came out. I wasn't like a Toy Story fan. It wasn't until Toy Story 3 was happening that I watched all of them really. And even to this day, I can just, if you just put on the end of any of those movies with no nothing leading up to it, I will watch it and I will be bawling.
Yeah.
Because everything about it makes me so sad, thinking about these toys that are going to be, either burned in a furnace or getting left behind when he goes to college or whatever the thing is. Because this happened to me. I was at IKEA and in the food court, they were just playing Toy Story randomly, and it was the end of the movie, and we were eating meatballs. Eating our Swedish meatballs, but the end of the movie is happening, and I look over at it, and I just immediately I'm teary-eyed, and Dan's like, "What? Are you for real right now?" And I'm just like,
"These meatballs are really good."
It's just, what if you're a toy and you get left behind?
I thought you were telling that story one time at the IKEA I was left behind. And I was
I was watching Toy Story at the IKEA.
Yep. No, I was just watching.
This is 2 weeks ago.
If I got left behind at an IKEA, I would just have a ball. That's a good time. That's a fun day.
Yeah, that's a sweet day. That's a day my wife asks for every weekend. She's like, "Can you take me to the IKEA and just leave me there?
Yeah,
and come get me."
I'm tearing up from that story.
Yeah, Mike could do you one better. He just has to hear about the ending of Toy Story.
It's funny. I was watching. They've been playing Up recently, several times or whatever, and there's parts I love about that movie. The first 10 minutes is the best,
just brutal.
Yeah,
storytelling that I've ever seen, probably.
Agreed.
But then the end, I'm just like, there's dogs flying warplanes. What's happening?
Yeah. It goes from being one of the most grounded Pixar movies of all time to being what?
And then I'm just like, oh, that dude fell to his death. 15,000 feet or whatever. How fucking tall.
That's every animated movie we grew up with.
Yeah.
How is the villain going to die? Unquestionably die. Remember in Atlantis: The Lost Empire?
I've never seen that.
I know that's a loaded question because no one knows what happens at the end of that movie.
No, I've never seen that.
It's
Is
actually
that
not
a Disney
bad.
movie?
Yeah.
Now
It's a Disney movie.
I've been racking my brain for what Disney movies have I not seen that I can watch with my kids, because we're watching the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm writing down Atlantis.
Yeah, Atlantis. It's cute and fun, and like there's a lot of great actors in it. Michael J. Fox plays the lead, and it's like
Nice.
It looks like the animation from like 101 Dalmatians, but like modern. Yeah, everyone's got that kind of character type, and but it's really nice. But the villain, spoilers, he dies. Like he falls out of like a thing, but he doesn't die when he lands. It's like at the end of GoldenEye, where like he falls. And he lands, and his like every bone in his body shattered, and then a thing falls on him, and that kills him.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm like, all right,
Brutal.
yeah. Or I may be conflating GoldenEye. I might just be thinking of GoldenEye. Man, GoldenEye's a good movie. You guys remember that awesome opening when he jumps off the dam?
Wait, there was no movie Atlantis Secret.
Yeah, what? What am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Avatar.
Oh, all right.
It is. Apparently, people do accuse it of being a ripoff of Avatar. It's.
Or isn't it Fern Gully? I thought Fern Gully was the
Oh,
one.
that's a ripoff too. Yeah.
Oh, both. Okay.
Yeah, no. Avatar
Why not?
stole
Get 'em
from
both.
Dances with Wolves, the Fern Gully, the Last Rainforest, and Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
It's just those three movies put together.
Yep, those three movies. You get cat people
Sure.
and sad trees.
Did you guys watch the second one?
Avatar?
Yeah.
I watched it. Here's the thing. I think I saw it.
That sounds about right. I
I
watched
went
the
to
whole
the
thing.
theater
Yeah.
to see
Really?
it in 3D, and halfway through the movie just glitched and stopped working. And it was only like me and Dan and Felix in the theater. So we were like, we just waited for it to be fixed, and then it didn't happen. And we were like, we waited for like 5-10 minutes, and then it was just one image glitched on the screen, and then a guy came out and he was like, hey, like we don't know what happened, we can't figure it out, like we'll give you movie passes, you could come back some other time.
I'll act out the rest of the movie.
So I saw the first half in the theaters, and then it came out so that you could watch it like streaming, and I watched it again, but I only watched it to like 20 minutes past the point that I saw it before. And then I tried a third time and I watched it 20 minutes past that. And to this day, I don't know if I finished the movie because it's really long.
It's really, really long.
It's really, really long. And I have a terrible memory, so I can't remember what really happened. So I can't just like go. What I should do is like HBO style, I should just go into halfway point and watch from there and just be like, it doesn't matter what happened in the beginning, even if I don't remember.
Yeah,
just watch
exactly.
from the middle to the end. And that's what I need to do.
It's like, it's more of like you're not missing anything. I watched the whole thing and I'm just sort of like, at the end I was just like, I watched it.
I watched it,
It's a movie. But like, it should be just more of like a teaching technical, like achievement thing. Because the special effects in it are, it's
just
insane.
bonkers.
I mean, it's the whole world is all special effects, and you don't question it for a second. Like it's crazy.
Everything underwater just looks
all the
real.
underwater stuff, all the animals. Like there's so many cool things about the movie, but I don't give a shit about that movie whatsoever. Like if it was just, if they just said like,
there is a small
Star
faction
Wars
of people
on it,
that
I'd be
are
like, this is
obsessed
cool.
with it, though.
yeah.
There are
there's
people that
definitely
exist
is,
that like speak Navi and like know everything about the culture, like as far as it's been created.
Man, I mean, it's super weird. If it helps those people out, gives them like a sense of belonging or whatever, like more power to them. But it is just like, that is not for me. My God. That's fucking
Not for me.
not for me.
No.
Agreed.
My God.
No thanks.
And at that point too, it's not even an Avatar thing. If somebody was like, "Do you want to fucking hang out
Speak
and
Klingon.
talk like Cipolla
Nah.
all day?" Cipolla, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Cipolla. Hang on. Let's not rush the judgment.
Yeah, whoa.
Let's-
Yeah.
Let's not jump to conclusions here.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Today in Nerd History, and Sal, I know you're pumped for Deadpool and Batman.
Yeah, it's the crossover I've been waiting for. That being said, I've been waiting for a Marvel DC crossover for, I did the math, 22 years.
Nice.
And since the last one. And here it is. I actually was going to get one. Like, I had a copy, but it's in the long box. I already put it away. I was like, I'm not going to bring it all the way over here. That's 12 feet away.
I want to see it.
I know. How
Well,
often, not to change subjects too, but how often do you take stuff out of there? Like just
It's probably like once every other week at this point. Like, I don't take a lot. I mean, unless it's like a hardcover. If it's a trade paper, the whole library has like the long boxes of the single issues and also shelves with books on them. And if it's books, it's every day. Like I'm always in there.
Nice.
Oh,
It's
nice.
just unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you go in there with a plan, or do you just like?
Sometimes, you know, I now I try to like kind of plan it a little bit, but like, yeah, I didn't used to, and I won't again. So there'll definitely be like me just going like, there we go. But yeah, no, it's very loose here at Comic Pop, as you can imagine. But yeah, man, I went to go pick it up. My local comic book store did a midnight release for the issue, so like they opened the store at like 12, and so people could shop for an hour, and picked up the book and read it cover to cover, and then about like less than 12 hours later, sat down with the team, recorded a full like 2-hour episode,
Nice.
cut it into 2 a.m, and then put it out about a couple hours ago as of the taping of the show.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we don't normally do that,
Damn.
but I was like,
But
it's
you're
exciting
so
and important.
excited.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
jazzed because it wasn't
That's
just
awesome.
like one story. You know, it was like Deadpool and Batman, and DC's going to do their own Deadpool and Batman story. They're not going to be connected or related or by the same creative teams, but they all will also have like little stories in them. And so like the one that came out today or yesterday actually was yesterday was you know, you got the main story, like, which is the bulk of the pages, which was Deadpool meeting Batman. The idea is like Deadpool goes to Gotham City to kill Batman because he's hired by the Joker, and he meets Batman, teams up with Batman, tricks Batman, brings him to the Joker, and then double crosses him. And it's just it's a fun little story. It's like, it's a standard crossover. When I say standard crossover, I mean like you highlight the differences and contrast them and showcase each of their strengths or weaknesses, and mostly strengths. You know, no one's going to point out weaknesses while they're trying to sell each other's books, but you know, contrasting like, oh, isn't it fun that they have similarities or differences and how they play off each other, and you know, then at the end nothing can change, so it just ends up back where it started. And like that sounds pretty blasé and boring, but it's not. It's a lot of fun because it's like a neat little gimmick that I tend to like. And I was overall really impressed with the effort. I'm really looking forward to what DC's going to do too, and I'm fingers crossed hoping they do it again. I think that like if it sells well, you know, we'll see some more. Speaking of sales, as of the taping of this episode, Batman #1, they relaunched Batman with a new #1 with creative team Jorge Jimenez and Matt Fraction, sold 500,000 copies. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually a lot.
That's a shitload, yeah.
Nice.
You know, when they launched the Absolute Universe, Absolute Batman sold 250,000 copies, and people were like, holy crap! And then Batman came out with 500,000 copies. And they were like, oh, I didn't even know that was possible.
Wow.
So, I'm looking forward to seeing how Deadpool and Batman sells. Yeah, I'm hopeful that it's just a good sign for everybody that like, oh, you know what, actually, like, we can just do this, and it's free money because it's not like we're, you know, each of us is publishing the other's character.
This is Yesterday in Nerd History. Today, or this week, is the 41st anniversary of the Transformers cartoon, and pretty much when like Transformers was introduced in the United States, like officially. It's all kind of around 84-ish, whatever. I'm currently fidgeting with the Gen 1 Bumblebee
Aw.
Hey, look at him.
and Prime.
Nice.
They're like my only
If
two like
you had
remaining
put those on my
functions.
desk, I'd be like, oh, look at these cute little cars. I wouldn't even know.
I treat them like they're fucking antiques because like you got to be like super careful. Like his arm will just like slide out. There's like, yeah, see, it's like barely anything
wow.
holding together.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quiet. Don't talk too loud around them either.
Don't be careful.
Oh, and they'll die.
But anyway, so do a little deep dive into just kind of the history of Transformers.
I love Transformers, but I also know next to nothing about them. Like, I know enough about Transformers, like, to speak intelligently on the subject or to have an opinion, or, like, in the beginning of that Bumblebee movie to be like, holy shit, this is amazing.
It's just like
It's just G1 cartoon, but like, what I kind of thought the Michael Bay movies were going to be before I sat down and was like, oh, no.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't. I was just like, but you know, I was a superhero guy. Like, so I was not, when everybody I knew was like watching Transformers, I was like, I don't know, like the Ghostbusters, maybe.
Yeah, I was full on Transformers and G.I. Joe. Like those are my two. A little bit of He-Man, but that was just sort of like, sure, more, whatever. Yeah, great.
Yeah, right.
At that point,
you can't fail. You're doing great. Thundercats, yes, yes,
exactly.
all of it. Rubik's Cube, let's go.
I was always like insanely fascinated with just the mechanics of them. Like, it looks like a car. Now it looks like a fucking robot. Like, how is this happening? And it all just kind of works together, and like it's a little mini 3D puzzle that you can like actually play with, and like they all look different.
Yeah.
They all have personalities and stuff. It started in Japan, and oddly enough, like in the 40s and 50s, like post-war, U.S. was trying to repair relations with Japan, which was not great.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, for some reason they're on the outs. But they started like helping support Japan in certain manufacturing kind of ways. And one thing Japan did, they had a lot of like excess tin cans around that were kind of discarded from the war. So just a lot of tin. And so they would recycle those start to make toys. And it would be like any kind of toys, cars, whatever. And then it just so happened like at that time, wind-up robots were really just popular. They were just like, and there was mechanics in them, so it was all those kind of classic from the 1950s, like those kind of robots that would like be, mechanized and stuff. And those just became very popular. So Japan just started to like evolve those as it went on. I forget the actual names in Japan, but it was like Astro Boy and Ultraman and Shogun Warriors. I had those I had Shogun Warriors and I had Ultraman. But I was a bit of a cheat. My mom is from Japan, so I don't know like if she just had those with her, but like I felt like I had access to that world. 'Cause a lot of those toys, I was like playing with them as kids. I'm like, this is a Transformer, but it's not a Transformer. Like it's a little bit different. Like I know it's
not something off about it. Yeah.
It doesn't have an Autobot symbol or Decepticon. Like it was like, so, and I never really like investigated, I was fucking like 6. I'm like, cool. This is like, it's 3 robots that make a camera. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Those started to become like more popular or just at least known in the US. There was a toy company called Takara, and there was a designer, Hideki Yoki, who was like the designer there, and then he eventually became like the lead designer for Hasbro. He was still working at Takara, but he was like the liaison for Hasbro. So he was like, Takara had this huge amount of Transformer designs between 2 different series called Diaclone and Micro Change. It was kind of weird. They were both Transformers, like on the surface, 2 different toy lines, not related to one another, same company making them. It's just like, all right, just like put them together. They're the same fucking thing. But like what it was like weird kind of influences that were driving them to make these changes. Like it started out, Diaclone was first, and there were just these larger Transformers. They were like ships that would just change into like other ships with like a face on it, like those kind of things. It was really cool looking. They looked like Transformers, but they weren't quite Transformers. And they were like bigger. And they had like little humans that would like go inside them and stuff. And that was kind of the scale of it. And then this was the 70s, I think, when oil prices went through the roof.
Yes.
And it became incredibly expensive to like make and ship and all this kind of stuff. So like a way to save money, everything started to get smaller. So now they started to make the smaller ones, and that became the Micro Change ones. And those were like 60-to-1 scale kind of things, right? So it was like big ship. Like play size. The Micro Change ones, it was like 1-to-1, and like stuff that you'd find around the house. So like that camera one that I was talking about, right? We had that. It was like 3 robots, and that was actually it became a Transformer too. Like a lot of these ones just became Gen 1 Transformers with different names and stuff. But it was stuff you find around the house. So it was like, a cassette or the tape deck or a gun. All these things that was just like 1-to-1 size.
That you just find around the house, of course.
These were all just sort of like the early seeds of Transformers. And a lot of them was just sort of like, sure, we'll just take them and that's going to become a Transformer. They had so many of these like super crazy elaborate designs for toys and like prototypes and stuff. They used to make the prototypes just out of wood and like carve them out and stuff and be functioning whatever Transformers. And then like those were the designs. So in the late 70s or no, 82, something like that, Hasbro went to a toy fair in Japan. Saw a toy fair of like Takara, all these others, like there's all these other versions of robot transformer-ish kind of toys. And Hasbro was like, sure, we'll take all of them. We just want all of this stuff. And like a lot of those other toy companies were sort of more of like, here's our product. Do you want to buy this product now? But Takara was the only one of like, I want a long-term deal, like a partnership where we have all these designs and you guys can now make them and like distribute them and stuff like that and like under the Hasbro umbrella. Actually, a funny weird like circular thing that happened. So Takara started out by licensing G.I. Joe from Hasbro like around that like the 60s, I think.
Okay.
Or whenever like G.I. Joe first kind of came out. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, the tall, like the big ones.
The big ones,
not
right.
the ones we know from the 80s, but like the G.I. Joe, like Kung Fu Grip and whatnot.
Exactly, right. So they were like the tall ones. And it was a very odd choice for them to be like selling U.S. military toys
to the Japanese children.
Right.
Oh my God.
And like, so it was like an odd choice, but they were like, let's try to shift it around a little bit. And so they wanted to try to make these figures into like, just redress them as superheroes. But like the build of those G.I. Joe guys was just kind of weird and like gangly, and it did not look cool in like a superhero costume. It just looked like some out of shape guy with like a back problem and like a weird costume. So that didn't quite work. So what they did was they just took the mold. It was like 22 different parts to these figures and made them like translucent with some robot parts in there, just threw some electronics inside and called them cyborgs. And that was like, now that kind of started the evolution of like, let's make it into a different kind of robot, and then Diaclone and then Microchange. Like it kind of evolved from that way.
Yeah.
So then that was all stemmed from a license from Hasbro. And then a couple decades later, they're now selling that thing that evolved from Hasbro back to Hasbro in like this big weird loop. So when Hasbro like made those deals with everybody, they got the long-term deal with Takara, and then they started to like try to figure out like how to make this work in the U.S. And so at this point, it was like the names were all super literal. It was like Gunman. There was like
right.
Like those kind of things.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah, right. And like that shit doesn't work in the U.S. It's just not imaginative or whatever. So like I think Hasbro had a couple names, I think. Or they definitely had the designs. I don't know if they had the names, but they went to Marvel and like, we need a backstory for this, right? And we need names for these characters. They had 26 toys that they launched with. That was the Gen 1 line. And we need like 26 names, and we need backstories for all of them. And I think at that point they kind of had the story of Cybertron, good versus evil, in like a little bit more thought out way at that point. But it was Bob Budiansky.
Oh, Budiansky, yeah.
Budiansky.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I've always seen that. I know that name only by visual. Like I've seen it a million times.
Yeah, there's an I-A-N in there, Budiansky. They gave him like 26 toys.
Right, like,
and
here's the toys.
Yeah, here's the toys. We need this in 3 days.
Dude,
and
Bob's kids must have freaked.
I know, right? That's fucking insane.
Because he's going to be like, cool, okay, whatever. And then he gives them to them. And they're like,
Yes.
This is me now.
Yeah. So like in that period, like a weekend or whatever, like I think the only name that they had was Optimus Prime. And so it was like Megatron, Starscream, like the whole backstory for all of them and their hierarchy and all this kind of stuff. And like switching teams, like, because in Japan, Megatron was the hero. Optimus Prime was a hero too, but they were all kind of like good guys.
Oh.
That's all kind of gearing up for the launch, and this is all leading towards 1984. The toy line was released in 84. Comic was already running. And the series premiered in 84 as well. Jesus, so they were prepping all that stuff. The toys went crazy. They sold like crazy. It was $115 million in 1984, like $115 million, which was $350 million in today's dollars. Wow. And the crazy thing was, like, during all that time, the GoBots was happening as well with Bandai and Tonka. So GoBots came out 6 months earlier, and it's essentially the same thing. The tone of it is just different. It's like the cartoon was out, the toys are out. The toys weren't as cool. They were just very simple. Like, it's all that dude Hideki who designed it all, who's like clearly like the genius behind it too, because GoBots did well too. They were kind of neck and neck in sales for a while, but then like Transformers was just cooler. and just like hit something that was just cooler with kids. And GoBots, like the cartoon was cornier and more like for a younger audience, and whatever it was, in like the second or third year, GoBots sales dropped by like 75%.
Holy shit.
So then that was kind of it for them. So the Gen 1 was 26 characters, and the next year they did 100 more, at least 120 more, something like that. So again, they just went back to Bob.
And again,
just
like, gave him a weekend. Here's 100.
So they went to Takara.
26 more.
Yeah, they went to Takara, and they just went back to that company, and they had binders full of designs of all this kind of crazy shit. We're like, great, we'll take all that stuff. And that was like the Dinobots and like all these other like Gen 2 stuff that was just like, they had all this cool shit already. And so it was like ready to go. I was just like these, gold mine of fucking toys. Yeah. And then just naming them, just going to Bob again to get all like the backstories. And so he created all that stuff. Then the movie came out in 86, 85?
Oh, 86, yeah.
86. And killed off. They wanted to push the next generation of characters, killing off the Gen 1. I know we talked about that before.
What a great idea. Put up all your favorite characters on the big screen and then murder them.
Yes. And like it just went downhill from there. Because right around that time too, that dude Hideki stopped working for Takara and Hasbro. So he was like that main kind of genius behind everything. And now the designs were coming from the US. And that's when they just became like the quick change ones, or just like a robot just opens up like a fucking suitcase and there's another pre-made robot inside. Like it was just lame kind of shit, right? And so like sales tanked. And then I think in 91, they came back with Beast Wars.
Yes.
And like the 3D animated TV one, which like at the time, great. Look at it now, it looks insane.
It looks, it was like Reboot.
Yeah,
it was
exactly,
like,
right.
It's like, this is bleeding edge animation.
Yeah.
And it's silly now, but like back then it was awesome.
Yeah.
That was the show that was my Transformers show that I watched.
I was going to say,
Beast Wars.
a lot, like, because it was a like total revival. And then the other thing was those Beast War characters were like being designed in the US in Cincinnati, but then that dude Hideki was back to kind of give like an overview of like, they would design them, give them to him, and be like, here's how I would fix it. And now like they actually transformed again. They looked like animals and they look like robots again. So it was like cooler again.
Yeah.
So that dude was clearly like the fucking magic sauce behind this whole thing. And so that was like a revival for them. And then in 2007 was the Michael Bay stuff, and it, had a third life from there, just a totally different thing.
Yeah.
Before the Michael Bay, like I was super excited for when the Michael Bay, I'm like, great, man. I just want to see like high tech, like cool modern graphics for Transformers. And then seeing like the test footage or whatever, or the designs, like early concepts, I'm like, that's not them. Yep. I was like,
no, they're just like a bunch of garbage.
Yeah.
Like it's just a bunch of, just a pile of crap.
Just stuff. Just everywhere.
Just noise, but made physical.
Yeah.
And then they transformed, and it's like there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just there's no consistency. But I mean, it looks neat, but that's like the closest. Like that's the highest cut praise I could give. It's like, oh, that looks neat. Like neat. It cost $600 million to make this.
Yeah.
Like I'm never gonna see it again either.
They definitely like when we were saying before, like the opening part for Bumblebee. Like I was like, okay, they got it. Like these look like the fucking characters, the Gen 1 characters. It looks like Cybertron. It's crazy looking, awesome. Rest of the movie was fine. It was watchable.
It's totally watchable
really
compared to the other ones. Compared to fucking any of the other ones.
Totally.
And then like the only one I saw.
The Transformers one.
That's the one to see.
That's the one to see.
John Cena.
I went ahead and watched on like 2 times speed, but I watched the first episode of Transformers from '84.
Yeah.
And it's like the storyline of it all. It's so stupid. Like, Autobots are trying to escape from Cybertron because they're out of resources. Decepticons have wiped out all the resources in Cybertron, and like they're just assholes. There's a lot of parallels to a lot of things that are happening.
Yeah.
For some reason,
seems like a sci-fi story, but
yeah. And like they're escaping, and then they crash land. Decepticons and Autobots crash land on Earth. 4 million years pass. They're like crashed in the bottom of a volcano. Volcano like erupts or whatever. Wakes up this like robot on the ship, and it just starts like scanning Decepticons first, and it's like. It like checks them out, and then it goes out into the world and like scans like, a gun. I guess they skipped that part, or they scan like a jet, and that becomes Starscream and that kind of stuff. And the Autobots are dead. Like they didn't wake up. And like the Decepticons are like, all right, we're gonna find some energy and then like build a ship and get out of here. And Starscream is such a prick. He's just they're all leaving. And he's just shooting the volcano, like talking shit to the dead Autobots in their ship. And like the volcano like crashes, and that like Prime like falls, and then the thing scans him, and then it scans the rest of the Autobots. So like, if Starscream just didn't shoot the mountain, like that would have been the end of the series. So
Yeah.
like, great, we made it off the planet. Now we took over Cybertron or whatever.
Yeah.
The Decepticons are the only ones who can fly for some reason, but like they're super high tech alien robots. And when I was saying before, the 3 cameras that become one, I think it's Reflector is like the group name for them. Reflector and one other Decepticon are like on a mountaintop, and they're trying to look to see what's going on in the distance. And so Reflector transforms into a camera, and like they can get small when they're like that, like Megatron does. And so he takes a picture of whatever, and it's just a Polaroid, and he just looks at it, it's like, oh, okay. Like it's I'm like, you're super high tech robots. You don't have like zoom in vision.
Yeah, you didn't look. How is photographing what you just looked at any better than you having looked at it already?
All right, gang. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, a comment about which is your favorite terrible Michael Bay Transformers movie. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, give us a like, leave a comment there too. It all helps us out. You guys got anything you want to plug?
We did a big old episode of Back Issues on the Deadpool Batman book, so check that out. See our commentary and discussion about it.
Here, I'm going to plug. This is so dumb. 15 years ago, the pilot episode of Blue Buds came out. My grandma really loved that show, so I just wanted to mention that.
15 years ago?
What? Yep.
Holy shit.
15 years ago this week.
Is it still going?
I have no idea. I assume it is.
They don't even know.
I don't know.
CBS is like, oh shit.
I've never watched an episode. I don't know anything about it except that my grandma really loves it.
The entire cast just keeps coming to work. They're like, did you get fired? No, I didn't get fired. I'm still getting a check. Yeah, I guess we'll just keep making the show.
Tom Selleck's been paying me.
Tom Selleck, he's been dead for 10 years. How can he possibly be paying you?
Oh my god.
That's all I got.
Cardboard cutout of him just blood loss. I'm a police officer, I think. Our family's police officers.
Yeah.
Number one show, CBS. Every show on CBS is the number one show. I feel like that's fake.
Yeah, if anyone's watching it, it's the number one show.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We like you. We hope you like us.
There's like a clip of the voice actor who did Cipolla doing like the actual like recording, like he was in the booth, and then Lucas was there. Like I was just like, oh, that was it. I thought there was like more to it.
Yeah, like they added like a reverb or something to
so
it.
I was like,
no,
oh, he just did it.
So like when that guy orders a coffee, it's awesome.
So next week for the Cipolla
Cipollacast.
Cipollacast.
Cipollacast.